Hello world and all of my friends and subscribers out there. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the second part of my Jeepers Creepers inspired sculpt of the creeper. So I'm going to start by painting his head. So first of all I'm going to give him a base coat. Just because it's a little bit hard to tell exactly what colour and how his facial features and everything are coloured, because if you have a look in the movies as well as still pictures from the movies, then it's kind of changes colour a lot. So it's really hard to tell, so I just kind of went with the dark kind of features that you tend to see in the movie. So after letting that dry, I kind of dabbed on some darker and some lighter colours to mottle the skin a bit. And then once that had dried, I gave him a couple of washes with a dark brown and then a black to give those some definition to the sculpt that I did, and just bring out those features and make his skin a bit darker. Then with his eyes, I kind of went with his eyes from the first movie, which I really liked before, of course, he started eating people and refreshing himself and ate the unfortunate guy's eyes at the end. He has really light kind of eyes, and they almost look completely white, but they're actually quite translucent blue. And so that's why I chose this colour. It does look a bit weird when I'm doing it, but that's why I chose it. And then I put some red wash in the corners of his eyes just to give him kind of an irritated look. The actor tends to have quite irritated looking eyes, so I'm sure it would be quite irritating having that mask on your face all the time. So his eyes are normally quite red in the photos. So the next thing I did was added his wispy grey hair, which he has in the beginning of the first movie as well. I think I like the creeper in the first movie. I don't know about everybody else, but the second movie was a bit gimmicky. It was a bit disappointing. And so I hope that the third's going to be a bit better than that. But he has in the beginning, when he's throwing the bodies into the back of the vehicle, you can see his white hair quite clearly. And it's quite an old man's type hair, all fluffy and white, so I'm using some white undyed mohair and just gluing it to the back with some tacky glue. You can use any kind of vinyl type glue for this, it'll work quite well. And I just waited for it to dry, and then I pulled out any loose hair and trimmed it up so that it looked quite cool, nice and short, the way it looks in the movie. So next I have already made him a hat, and it's made out of leather. In the movie I think it's felt or canvas, but I decided to make it out of leather just because it's a little bit more rigid and I know it looks better in my opinion. So it was the wrong kind of colour, so I had to paint that a dark brown. And I also made him some boots out of the same colour, which I also decided to paint a dark brown as well. So next are his pants and shirt. and his pants are just made out, just a simple, really simple, just made it 2 tubes, cut some slits in them, and you'll see how they go on to the doll a bit later on. And what I did was I just kind of snipped the bottoms, because in the movies his pants and shirt are quite ripped up and dirty and frayed, and because of course he's been hibernating for 21 years or so. And so I just kind of aged them after I'd snipped them up with a nail file. I could have used sandpaper, I guess, but it would have to be quite a high grit, and that was just to fray the material. And I did the same thing on the shirt as well, which I think turned out really neat, gave a good effect. Now the shirt I dyed with just acrylic paint that's been watered down, just to give it that real kind of dirty look from wherever he's been hibernating, and dried blood and things all splattered all over it. So it's the kind of look, the shirt from the original movie. I got a picture of the shirt, the original prop, and that's what I kind of went with. And I also made him a black leather jacket, and I've made the arms separately, and you'll see me putting them on here and stuffing the sleeves underneath his shirt, and that's just because it's the easiest way to get it on, and it looks a bit better. So it's not, sorry, his jacket is made to look like leather, but it's not. Of course it's vinyl, but I chose vinyl again just because I wanted the character to look a bit more interesting, because in the movie everything he's wearing seems to be made out of canvas or just normal material. So I decided I wanted to mix it up a little bit and give him like a leather looking jacket. And then the last thing that I did was I just put some mud on his pant legs and the bottom of his jacket and his boots, because in the movies he gets quite dirty, of course, and you don't want him to look nice and fresh if he's got a dirty shirt in there. So I muddied him up. And then once his hair was dry, I attached his head, clipped my wire and bent it to stop his head coming off, so his head can turn, and put his hat on him. And here he is, all complete, lurking in a dim room against my curtain. I think he turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with him. Let me know what you guys thought. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.